Good evening. My name is Ikra Ikram Khan. I'm a student of International Medical University of 4th semester and my group number is 3. Today my topic is about drugs affecting on function of uterus. So first of all, we talk about hypothalamus. Hypothalamus is a part of brain which regulates pituitary functions or a pituitary gland. Hypothalamus release hormones. There are and it releases two hormones: anterior pituitary hormone and posterior pituitary hormone. Anterior pituitary hormone release LH, FSH, TSH, ACTH, and GH, and posterior pituitary hormones release oxytocin and vasopressin. Then here is the female reproductive organ. Okay, this one is an ovary, and here is the intra diagram of ovary. First, you can see that these are the primordial follicle. This one is parental follicle, and this round one is zona flexida. These are the antrum and ovum. This one is pre-ovulatory mature follicle. These over here in this part, ovulation process occurs. These are the ovum, and these yellow structure is known as corpus luteum. And over here, degeneration of corpus luteum is showing. So inside the ovary, thousands of follicles are present, and from the first day of menstrual cycle, few follicles are begin to grow, at the same time, but stop growing around about seven expect the one. And in the normal menstrual cycle, one dominant follicle will grow and containing one egg. These follicles are bigger and it rupture at ovulation, but within which release the egg, and this usually around 14 days after the beginning of woman's menstrual cycle. Then we will talk about the menstrual cycle. Here is the ovarian histology of menstrual cycle, hormones, and endometrial histology of menstrual cycle. So from day 1 to day 5, these follicles will be ruptured and follicle stimulating hormone level is high. So this phase is known as follicular phase, and from day 6 to day 12, follicles will start rupturing. These follicles you can show over here in this diagram. These follicles are going to be maturing, and in this phase, estradiol is a hormone which level is high. So this phase in this phase, flow of blood is also at normal level, and from day 13 to day 15, ovulation process occur, and luteinizing hormone level is also high at its peak. In this phase, eggs are released from ovary, and this phase is known as ovulation. From day 16 to day 20, follicles that contain egg are transformed into corpus luteum. These follicles will be released, okay, from egg, and now it's going to transform into corpus luteum. These are the yellow structure which shows corpus luteum, and it begin to produce progesterone and estrogen. If egg is fertilized, then progesterone from corpus luteum support to pregnancy. It means that if fertilization processes occur from day 16 to day 20, then progesterone hormone will help corpus luteum to support for possible pregnancy. But if no fertilization will occur, then these corpus luteum will start degeneration, and between 9 to 11 days. So this phase is known as luteal phase, and if no possible pregnancy occurs, then these degeneration of corpus luteum occur. And after every 28 days of every month, menstrual cycle will begin. So you can see over here, this is these one are of this one is ovary, and in ovary, estradiol, progesterone, follicle stimulating hormone, and luteinizing hormone is present. These are the endometrium. Middle one is myometrium. Endometrium is basically in inner epithelium layer, which contain mucous membrane. It has a basal and a functional layer, and it thickens and then is shed during menstruation in human. So This is the flow chart of menstrual cycle. Then come to the female reproductive system. So in female, egg is fertilized by a sperm in a fallopian tube. In this one is a fallopian tube. Here, egg fertilized, and within 9 days, when egg fertilized, egg moves into the fallopian tube. From fallopian tube, egg will comes into the uterus over here, and from over when the egg moves into the uterus, from here in uterus, implantation process will be occur, and HCG hormone released from placenta. The full form of HCG hormone is human proionic gonadotropic hormone. It released into the blood, and some HCG also get passed into the urine. HCG can found in blood before the before the first menstrual period. Okay, so over here, this flowchart shows the level of human chronogonadotropic hormone during pregnancy. From into 3 weeks, the level of HCG hormone is 6 to 70 IU. 4 week is 10 to 750. Fifth week is 200 to 7,100. Sixth week is 160 to 3,200. 7 week is 3,700 to 16,000. And falling are the from 16 to 29 week is the second trimester. Level is 1,400 to 53,000, and from 29 to 41 week, which is third trimester start, it's 94 to 60,000 IU. These are the sperm. A sperm insert into the female reproductive organ with the help of vagina, and from every 150 million spermatocytes, several thousand only reach the place of fertilization to fertilize the single egg. The rest of them will be dead. Then come to the next slide, which is about like a stage of the pregnancy. This one is the first week. First trimester consists of 0 to 12 weeks. It counts from implantation to 12 weeks. Second trimester is from 13 to 28 weeks, and the third trimester is from 29 to 40 weeks. These are the position of embryo from first trimester, second trimester, and the third trimester. So the placenta is a temporary fetal organ which begins to develop from blastocyte shortly after implantation. Then we have another slide, which is drugs affecting function of uterus. Drugs which affect on function of uterus are divided into two types. Number one is drugs strengthening of uterus, rhythmic contraction, and the second one is drugs which weakens uterus contraction, that will be called tocolytics. So here in the drug strengthening of uterus, rhythmic contraction is posterior pituitary hormone, includes oxytocin, diamino-oxytocin, ergoid alkaloids, ergometrine, methylcomentrine, and then there is prostaglandins, PGE2, PGF2, and misoprostol. Then there is in drugs that weakens uterus contraction is a beta-2 adrenomimetics, partostine, phenoterol, and then there is antidiarrhythmic, which is magnesium sulfate, MgSO4. Then come to the first of all, there is oxytocin. Oxytocin is basically a non-appetite hormone which has a central role in regulation of partition and lactation. And oxytocin works to increase the concentration of calcium inside the muscle, which control the contraction of uterus. You can see over here, these are the uterine contraction, and also increase calcium, that increase the uterine contraction. Then we have posterior pituitary hormone, which is oxytocin. Its parental dose is 10 unit ml. Half-life is 1 to 6 minutes. For the postpartum hemorrhage, 10 unit IM after delivery of placenta will be given, and labor induction is 0.5 to 1 m unit. And for incomplete or inevitable abortion, in abortion we will give 10 to 20 minute unit, not to exceed 30 units, or 12 hours. So the common side effects of oxytocin include like slow heart rate, fast heart rate, or and there's a fetal death may also occur, fetal hypercapnia, several decreases in maternal systolic and diastolic blood pressure. It also increased heart rate, systemic venous return and cardiac output and rhythmic. Then there is another posterior pituitary hormone drug is D-amino-oxytocin, which is inactivated by oxytocin. Its internal dose is 50 IU, half-life is 5 hours. For the recommendation dosage of D-amino-oxytocin is 25 to 50 units, buccal tablet every 30 minutes or as necessary. Its side effects are like uterine cramps in mother, or bradycardia, and acute fetal hypoxia in fetus or a newborn. It may cause jaundice. Then there is another drug which is ergot alkaloids. Mechanism of action of ergot alkaloid is that ergot have structures which is similar to biogenic amines, norepinephrine, and vasoconstriction also produced by an antagonist activity, and this effect varies in different vascular beds, hyperthemia and uterine stimulation and other effects. The uses of ergometrine is to prevention of postpartum hemorrhage, which acts as alpha adrenal dopamine. Then there is ergometrine. Eternal dose is 0.2 mg oral tablet. Paternal dose is 0.2 mg. Half life is 30 to 120 minutes. Then there is side effects, which is nausea, vomiting, stomach pain. Then come to the prostaglandin. Prostaglandin is E2 PGE2, which is also known as dinoprostone, and it's naturally occurring prostaglandin with oxytocin properties and used in the medication like dinoprostone used in labor induction or termination of pregnancy or in new babies to keep the ductus arterius open. Its mechanism is like that dinoprostone induce uterine contraction, which are similar to produce body during spontaneous labor, and increase the amplitude and frequency of uterine contraction, which reduce cervical tone and produce cervical dilation. Then we have dinoprostone. Eternal dose is 10 mg vaginal insert, and half-life is 2.5 to 5 minutes. Then we have carboprost, which is 0.5 mg, endocervical gel, and parental dose is 250 mcg, half-life is 2.5 to 5 minutes. Then we have those drugs which strengthen of uterus rhythmic contraction, misoprostol. Eternal dosage is 100 mcg or 200 mcg, half-life is 20 to 40 minutes. Its side effect is discomfort or diarrhea, feeling very thirsty, heavy sweating, and hot and dry skin. This medication given in postpartum hemorrhage prophylaxis, 600 mg within 1 minute of delivery will be given to the patient, and in treatment of incomplete abortion, 600 mcg Buckley once will be given. Then we have trocolitids, those drugs which weakening uterus contraction, partuestine phenoterol. It's an important indication of B2 adrenoceptor antagonist is tocolysis, which reduce premature labor and fetal mortality. B2 adrenocorticoceptors are dominant, and B1 adrenocorticoceptors in pregnant women. This medicated in muscle contraction. In addition, it is appeared to be positive correlation between myometrial and B adrenocorticoceptor density in the lymphocytes of pregnant women. Then we have Partustin phenotrol, eternal dosage is 5 mg tablet and half-life is 5 minutes. Then there is magnesium sulfate, whose paternal dose is 40 mg, 80 mg, half-life is 5.2 hours. So magnesium sulfate acts as a smooth muscle relaxant by blocking calcium-mediated contraction and decrease acetylcholine released from neuromuscular junction, and also reduce histamine-induced air response. So thank you everyone for watching this useful video.